I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this is the Spitler Knoll Overlook. This is mile marker 48. There's my little red car, and this is a little parking area that's used by people who rent out the Rock Spring cabin. So I'm planning to, I'm going to hike south on the Appalachian Trail a couple tenths of a mile for a minute to do something, and then I'm going to turn around and we're going to hike back up this way a mile or so, and I'll hike you up to the Rock Spring cabin, and there's also a hut up there for Appalachian Trail through hikers. And then I'm going to look for the old service road that'll take me back down to Skyline Drive and then back this way. Shouldn't be a real long hike. I think it's going to be maybe, might be 3 miles. The elevation here is 3,300 feet. Tenth of a mile into my hike, and that's where I came from. My car's parked back there. Tenth of a mile down this way, and this runs into the Appalachian Trail. And that's the AT heading northbound. I'm going to take a little side trip and head to the south here for a couple tenths of a mile first. Six-tenths of a mile, and I'm back to where I started. Basically, there's the parking lots up there, and there's the AT southbound. So now I'm ready for the regular part of the hike. We're gonna head up this way and head northbound on the AT. Seven-tenths of a mile into my hike. The elevation here is 3,330. There's the Appalachian Trail. That's the way I came up on the AT. And I just stopped here for a minute. This is a trace of an old road. Wonder where this went to. Anyway, I'm gonna keep hiking northbound this way. Yeah, so there's the road trace I just mentioned, and I looked across the other side of the AT, and here's the rest of it up. Maybe this is a little bit better defined here. heading up the side of the mountain. Eight-tenths of a mile into my hike. I'm up to 3,400 feet. There's the AT where I came from. And I'm crossing this old road trace again. There it is again, heading up the side of the mountain. .2 miles into my hike, I'm up to 3,500 feet, and there's the Appalachian Trail. That's where I came from, and here's the turnoff to the Rock Spring hut and also the Rock Spring cabin. It's only 2/10 of a mile, so let's go down here and I'll show you what they look like these days. .3 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 3,400 feet. It's a pretty steep part of the mountain here, so anywhere you go, you're either going up or down. And this is the Rock Spring hut. I tend to use the word hut and shelter interchangeably, but the Park Service uses hut when they're referring to these three-sided shelters. These are overnight hiking for AT thru hikers. I'll get a few pictures of it inside. It's got a picnic table there, a fire pit here. Down there a little ways is the Rock Spring where the water flows. You can't see it from here, but I'll take you down there. Down here, just over that little hill there, is the Rock Spring cabin. That is completely enclosed with a wood-burning stove. You can rent that from PATC. Bear-proof storage container for your food. Up there's the composting privy. A few years ago they came in and they tore out all the pit privies and replaced them with these composters. I don't really see any designated camping spots, but I mean, you could camp back here. And right there is a bear pole. This is what they had for decades before they put in the metal food storage lockers. And that green thing, this is where you hang your food. And that green thing is supposed to help keep raccoons from getting up there and getting your food. Raccoons have an uncanny climbing ability. So I'll get some pictures of this and then we'll head down and take a look at the cabin, and I'll show you the spring too while I'm here. Okay, here's the rock spring, and looks like they've been maintaining it because I see a plastic pipe in there. So that's not original, it's flowing nicely. And I don't know, I've read stories that this spring has never run dry, even in the summer. Over there is the cabin. I'm not going over there because it's currently rented out, but I'll get a picture from here. Okay, down there's the Rock Spring Hut, and you come up the hill here, and that's where the old style pit privies were. I guess over the years there was 2 of them. When they get full, they just cover them up and dig another hole. But not anymore, because here's the new composter right here. You go up the ramp and you use the facilities, and the waste drops down into that crib and it composts itself. And the crib is double wide so that right now the side on the left is composting and the side on the right is in use. And after a while they'll swap the 2 sides. They'll slide the outhouse over to the left and they'll put that little cover on the right and move the ramp. So, newfangled composting privies. So down there's the outhouse, and up here where these posts are the designated camping spots. There's one here. I see one over there. That one's pretty rocky though. And then there's another one over there. That one doesn't look too bad. There's another one up this way. So 4, 5, 6, I don't see any more up this way. This section of the mountain's really steep, so there's hardly anywhere that's flat. So, but this little spot right here, your little 8 by 10 spot here, that's about as flat as it gets. .8 miles into my hike, I just climbed out of the canyon where the cabins are. They're down that way. There's the AT heading south. That's where I came from. I'm going to go this way and look for the old service road. I'm pretty sure we can find it. Let's go see. Well, that was easy. There it is right there. So down there you might even be able to still see it. About halfway down is the turnoff with the concrete post. And so here's the service road. Let's go follow it down to Skyline Drive. .2 miles into my hike, I'm down to 3,380 feet, and there's the fire road. I just walked out of the fire road. coming down from the cabins. And here's where it dumps onto Skyline Drive right here. So it's not very, and I don't see any tread marks in the dirt or anything, so I don't think anybody's been up this road for a while. But so now to complete the loop, I'm going to have to hike down this way, south on Skyline Drive, back to Spitler Knoll Overlook. So let's get busy. This is a map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Big Meadows, 1994, and I hiked the Appalachian Trail from Spitler Knoll Overlook north to the Rock Spring Hut, and there's also a Rock Spring cabin there that you can rent from Potomac Appalachian Trail Club. This red line is Skyline Drive coming down from the north. And you come down, mile marker 48 is about here, and just a little further you can park here at the Spitler Knoll Overlook. You can either park at the overlook itself, or just before you get there, there's a rectangular parking area that'll hold about 4 cars. You can park there also. The trailhead to get you to the AT is right at the parking area here, so you just follow the trailhead sign until you get to the Appalachian Trail. Now, I took a little side trip south down this way down to about here for a personal reason, and then back on up hiking north along the Appalachian Trail like this until I get to here. Now the AT continues on to the north here like this, but you'll see a concrete signpost right here, and you turn left and you head down a fairly steep descent down to the Rock Spring cabin, and the Rock Spring Hut is here, which is the overnight shelter for AT thru hikers. And then right here is the Rock Spring itself. So I show all this area, and then back up to here, and then instead of going back this way, I continued on really just a couple of 100 yards northbound on the AT until I saw off to the right the old service road. So I hiked the old service road down this way, and it dumps out Skyline Drive here, and then you just, to complete your loop, you just hike southbound on Skyline Drive back to where you parked your car. Wasn't a real long hike. Ended up being 2.5 miles, 641 feet of ascent. But if you're interested in maybe taking a look at the Rock Spring cabin, maybe you're thinking about renting it from PATC, or you want to see the hut. I took this hike, I've hiked this area before, but I've never hiked this section right down through here, the old service road, so that's one of the reasons I went back today. This may be the last hike for the year until next year. I lucked out today. The weather was really warm up on the mountain. It was about 50 degrees. So, but you know, this is December 23rd, so it's getting to be into the, you know, dead of winter here. So probably once the snow and ice comes, that'll be it for hiking until springtime. And that was the hike for today.